This the new Let's Get It Sports Talk, broadcasting live on weekends, exclusively on Facebook and the Four Walls Foundation YouTube channel. All right. Welcome to the new Let's Get It Sports Talk. I'm Doc Bryce, that's Coach Bullock, and we're here. It's a little bit, I don't know, is it summer? Is it spring? It feel like fall. I had to put the Scully back on, man. Like, it's kind of cold out here, brother. I don't know. You know what I mean? How you doing, Coach? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm up here in Westford, Massachusetts, about an hour outside of Boston.
Oh, wow.
An hour from the prestigious University of New Hampshire.
Okay.
So it's I'm getting reports from my wife that it's definitely, she said it's a fall day. It's raining. It's cold there. It's just cold here. It's not raining, but it's cold. So
cold.
I feel you.
So now, did you come prepared? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the big coat on, or
I didn't. Like, so I thought I did, and
okay.
Then I went outside. Like, so all day I was good yesterday, and then we had late games, so I was fine. I was in the gym, and then we didn't leave the gym till 10:30. I had I had pants on and a polo, but then when I just had a polo. I walked outside. I was like, damn.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so you only about an hour outside Boston, though, huh?
I don't even think it's that far. It's probably like 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. So the University of New Hampshire wasn't that far from Boston?
No, from New Hampshire to Boston, it's probably, without the traffic, it's probably like 45, 50.
Oh, wow.
It'll take you about that.
Okay. That's what's up, man. I love that Boston area. I'm not big on the fans. I'm not big on the teams, but the culture I do enjoy, I must admit. And I got family up there too. So, I must admit that. But hey, man, listen. How you feeling, man? I mean, listen, I don't know. We'll listen. We had all hands on deck, man. You know what I'm saying? We had all hands on deck. We were doing the best we could, but ultimately we lost. And to be honest with you, and I give a shout out real quick to, and I'm gonna shout him out again, but I give a shout out to my cousin Saquon, to my homeboy Josh, and you know what I'm saying, to my man Mike, my brother Dave, even my uncle Kev and them, and cousin Wayne and everybody. Just they Knicks fans, man. You know what I mean? And bro, like, I needed a hiatus, you know what I mean? Like, so when they lose, especially to the Knicks, it's like, nah, not right now. You know what I'm saying? It's too soon. It's too soon. So I think 72 hours, 3 days go by. I think now, I'm ready to reflect a little bit on the 76ers, first round losing of the series, 4-2. It definitely seemed a lot tighter than the 4-2, though. You know what I memean? Like it
was.
It seemed like I thought it was a little tighter than that, but man, if you ask me, I mean, listen, I think they lost by 3 points, right, on Thursday night. Wells Fargo Center. Definitely a crushing blow and way to end to the season. I do say, that the fans did show up, and you and I both know that, right? So the fans did show up. There was some situations, okay, because anytime New York and Philly get together, it's always going to be some situations, but we lost, and it took me a couple of days to swallow that pause, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The season is over. And we're back to the drawing board, and we are 41 years going on our 42nd year with no championship. So, I don't know. How you feeling, Coach? How you feeling about, this is 3 days, 72 hours later, it's over. How you feel?
Yeah. So yesterday I still wasn't ready to talk about it. Like we got in the car ride and the guy I'm with, Shaylin, he's like, yeah, did you see the Cavs? I'm like, man, I'm not watching no basketball right now. I just can't do it. He just laughed at me. But it's like you try to figure out like what positives come out of it.
Yes.
I guess that's what you try to do. And I think there definitely are some positives that come out of it. I think Tyrese Maxey's a positive that comes out of it.
Big time.
I think the franchise, the leadership understanding that Joel is not a finisher comes out of it. And I think this is the first time that they actually realize that, because late in the game, he wasn't the one doing everything. So I think, I think that's big.
That might not. Well, if we could, I want to hear your points. I want to hear the rest of your points, but I want to flesh that. If you could flesh it out a little bit for me, because that just, I don't know. I mean, let me let you finish your points. I apologize.
I think we have, and I think we found some other pieces. I think Kelly Oubre's a piece. I think Nick Batum's a piece. I think Paul Reed. I mean, I know that's your guy. I think Paul Reed's not a piece. Like I think we need, because and I don't think he's a bad player, but because of the way Joel plays and how inconsistent he is, I think we need someone better, because they're going to be relied on more.
That's true. As far as what the offensive production kind of going through him?
Yeah, offensively, for long periods of time throughout the season when Joel's out,
right?
Different things like that. So, it was tough. I mean, listen, the Knicks are good. Jalen Brunson's good.
Very good.
The way that they play, and Tom Thibodeau's took a lot of heat over the years that guys can't play that way for him. And I still don't know if how successful it's going to be. Meaning, I think the Indiana series is going to be better than people think.
Absolutely.
And I also think, I don't think anybody's beating Boston, but the Knicks are a good team. They didn't have their all-star Julius Randle, which some people say actually against the Sixers was better for them matchup-wise.
Yes.
But listen, it sucked. There's nothing fun about losing. And but you move on. I went to the game. I went to Game 6 where I saw you. I'm with my boy, and he's not really a Philly fan. Like,
okay,
he has his random teams he likes in every sport, right?
Okay,
but he, like, on the way there, like we were getting there, the traffic, and I'm getting like antsy, and I'm like, yo, I'm too invested in this team.
That's right.
This is too much. and he goes, yo, for some reason I'm invested too. Like,
okay,
So then on the way out, as soon as we got out them doors, he said, "So this is what it's like being a Philly fan, huh?" I said, "This is it, man. This is it."
That's right. Welcome to the club, man. Well, I'm not even in the club. I'm tippy-toed in the club just from the Sixers. You know what I'm saying? But I rock with the Eagles too. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. I agree with all your sentiments. I disagree with the Paul Reed though. Just only because I thought that they could have used his rebounding, and if you look at some of his stats, and we didn't get a chance to do that, he had some rebounds, some offensive rebounding. So it's depending on how you use them. I thought they could have used them in a spell for Tobias. Tobias didn't give you nothing anyway, so you was already, and I'm saying, he had 4 rebounds. Okay, so to me, I feel like if you put Paul Reed in that position, then, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're getting more rebounds defensively. I understand you still want the offensive threat, but I don't even think that the Knicks was even respecting him as a threat. I think they called him SC, self-check. He checked himself, man. How do you play 30 minutes almost and you have 0 points?
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
And you make $40 million a year.
Crazy.
I just thought that. I think that's the key. I think that's been our issue. Is somebody at that 3-4 spot that can give us some scoring. With Joel, I mean, is he not a closer? Well, did you expect that game from him? I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on the show before. I said whenever we were last on, I said he's got to have a big game. He has to, because I knew Maxey couldn't do it again. Not couldn't do it. I shouldn't say that. The Knicks weren't going to let him do that again.
Yeah. So and speak to that a little bit. I mean, I think, again, is that just him being young and him having to know how to be a little more resilient, or him? What does he have to do in the off season? I almost think he seems pretty, he seems to have some girth to him. So does he need to build more muscle or something? Because I just feel like the Knicks were bullying him. They were bullying him. And I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, these guys have to get stronger every year. I think for him, from going scoring that 46-point game, and now
Mhm.
every time you touch the ball, you're getting doubled. He had never dealt with that before, right?
Okay.
Never dealt with that before.
Okay.
So I think that's what kind of just threw him off early. He got to go in a little bit late, but like even then, he's getting, and also, and I'm not blaming the refs for anything in this series
Sure.
because I think it
Sure.
went both ways. But he's going to start getting
Those calls.
the star treatment
Yeah.
where he goes because they're Wells Fargo Center does a great job of when the Sixers get fouled and they do not call it, they
Mhm.
replay that thing in slow
Mhm.
motion 45 times. Everybody can start yelling and screaming. They do a great job of that. So, and we saw it. There was probably 5 to 6 times where Tyrese got fouled, clear as day, and he didn't get those calls.
Mauled.
So I think that he's going to start getting that star treatment.
Yeah.
The Jalen Brunson calls that are just iffy, and
Yeah.
he'll start getting those.
And see, I don't see like Brunson's so crafty, right? He is. He's a star. Okay. He's a star. All right. Superstar, I'm not there yet, but he's definitely at the door, if not a foot in the door. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're gonna see some complaints with that because the leaning back, you know what I'm saying, and you are forcing the contact where you're like leaning back, hitting your head into the other player's head. I just think that is he's going to stop getting that call eventually. I'm not sure who it has to come against. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the other higher echelon point guards, maybe the Damian Lillards or whatever the case may be. And he has to do maybe that or the Kyries or whatever. And then maybe, you know what I'm saying, they'll change that up. Because I thought he should have had some offensive fouls on maybe two of them. You know what I'm saying? But he's very crafty. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because he does that motion, the sweet motion, the same thing Embiid does, but Embiid gets the offensive foul, but for Brunson, it's always a defensive foul. So I'm not sure if some analytics or some decision making is coming into play based upon height, based upon position. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I remember, not me playing, but I remember coaching and the kids is playing, and one of our guys is clearly getting fouled. The ref says out of his mouth, well, you know what? You're bigger. You should be able to absorb that. That's nothing. So I'm wondering if some of that perspective goes into things. And if that's the case, if that perspective is in play for Brunson, it definitely should have been in play for Maxey.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think a lot of it has to do with because Embiid is ISO'd. So when Embiid does things, there's nobody else around. When Brunson's doing it, he's getting to the basket. He's in traffic. So it's a little bit Now, that's not an excuse or a good reason. I just think that's why it is. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. And I think I agree with you. I think Jalen will stop getting that call eventually. But, he's crafty, man. He figures out different ways to score. And when he hit those 2 threes late, it was just like –
yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Nothing you could do about that. I will say this. I mean, you and I had a conversation, and I asked you, your opinion, and the noise was crazy or whatever. So I'm not even sure if I heard you. Plus, at that time, I think my mood was starting to shift a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me ask you, Oubre. I love Kelly Oubre. I do. I still think he's an accident waiting to happen, though, at times. You know what I'm saying? But I love his heart, man. I do, and I like the way he plays. But do you feel like he was playing Brunson wrong? I don't know. I just felt like I like the way Batum played him because I thought Batum, he definitely was shadowing him and forcing him to go a certain direction, and then he would give him a little step, but then he would recover. I just thought defensively, I didn't like how he kind of he played. I didn't think he fought over the screens like I thought he should have. And but I had a problem with Maxey. Always getting his what they say and who's his, now boys don't get caught watching the paint dry, right? So I just felt like he got caught too many times with not having his head on a swivel, and he's getting caught and beat constantly. I mean, I don't know. What did you see that, Coach? I mean, speak to that a little bit.
The Oubre part. I remember you asked me that. Yes, your mood was you were gone. You were in the tunnel. You were ready. You were.
I'm ready to be there, man. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't like, I don't know. I think Oubre played him okay. Like I see what you're saying. I mean, they definitely played. I think Batum did a better job on him, but I think Batum also had to do it for less amount of time.
Okay,
I think he was,
that's fair.
I also like Maxey's what really bothers me defensively.
Yes.
Because, all right, Tyrese, you're probably in that game. You're probably one of the top 3 at most athletic people on the floor.
Absolutely.
So why can't we play defense?
Right.
So now, I'm not saying you got to be guarding Jalen Brunson for 48 minutes, and I'm not saying that. But you can't be getting backdoored
all the time,
right? You can't be getting caught on screens and now your guy's wide open. Like, you can't do that. Like, and I think that's just the next step in his maturation as a basketball player, where like, listen, you can't have these letdowns. Like, you can't. Like, when that backdoor dunk to Josh Hart was huge. The play on I don't know if you remember this play. It was a baseline out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
It was right in front of us, and DiVincenzo's in the middle of the lane. And he just turns and posts Maxey up and scores.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And what bothered me about it, being a coach, like, I'm always watching the coaching staff. Like, I watch the coaching staff so much. They were yelling at Maxey what was about to happen. They were yelling at it. Oh, there was 3 coaches up yelling, pointing. It's coming there. It's coming there. And he still let it happen.
He's still right. That's what I'm saying. So I think, and that's why I say, like, yo, shout out to the Knicks. I mean, all the Knicks fans, all the Knicks, you guys are starving like we starving. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might be a little more hungrier because last chip that you had was in 72, 73, right? And, you really haven't had no noise in the playoffs. We are at least been expected to win in the playoffs, or at least to get to a certain level. So I understand your pain. I do. I truly do. But at the same time, I'm not going to concede to say, this team was just that much better. No, I just think that we made some critical errors. And I think that, like, you can't, sometimes, like my stepmom's, right? She'd be like, oh, it's the little things, boo. It's just the little things. And I say, no, you know what? You want to, like, minimize the little things. But let me tell you something. Those little things become big things. And they eventually become huge things. You know what I'm saying? So, little missing plays on defense, not being aggressive. Maxey, you got to do a little more than that, the little cross and then right-hand side. They're playing you to that now. They know that's what you want to do. True indeed, you're getting fouled, okay? But they know they're not calling it. You know what I'm saying? Because, some people say, well, maybe the league wants to see the Knicks be successful, right? So, is some of that at play? Sure. Now, of course, if my boy Josh is watching, he's going to say, oh, see, that's nonsense. That's this. But you know what? On the other side of it, he'll also argue about how the league wants to see LeBron and them be successful. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a different argument when it's your team. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So that's just human nature. But at the end of the day, the Knicks, listen, my Sixers hat is off right now. And my Knicks hat is on because the Knicks are my number 2 team. And somebody said, listen, well, you're happy either way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm just going to explain something from when I was 19 or maybe 20. Okay, I'll say maybe 21. When you lose your number 1, you might still have your number 2, but you hurting over the fact you lost your number 1. And I'm going to leave that right there. You know what I'm saying? Losing the number 1 always hurts when your number 1 loses. Either you lose your number 1 or your number 1 team loses. Doesn't matter. The loss still hurts. So now, yeah, I have a recovery, you know what I'm saying? Because I can rebound with my number 2. but I'm still hurt over my number one. You know what I'm saying? So the Knicks are not who they move on to. They're playing the Pacers now, right?
Yep.
You better not sleep on the Pacers, you Knicks fans. I'm gonna tell you that right now, okay? Because first of all, what's the guard out there? What's his name again?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Halliburton is a problem, and as much as I don't like him, that Siakam be Siakam. I'm saying he be Siakam, or whatever. I don't know. He's getting busy out there. Okay, he's getting busy in a way that, you know what? I don't like his game. There's nothing like fancy about it. It's not like it's just regular, but it's effective.
Yeah. Yep.
Miles Turner. You got people out there, you know, and again, you got Siakam. So, you know, and he gets hot. And you know, at first I thought I told my son, I said, at first I thought Siakam was another version of Bismarck Biyombo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Remember when Biyombo was supposed to be tough like that? And then he's been like a second coming of Kwame Brown ever since then. So got that money and ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but Siakam can play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. I mean, it's a good series. It's really different the way they play. The Pacers play fast, man. They want to shoot in 7 seconds, and the Knicks, you know, they grind everything out. So it's going to be, you know, it'll be interesting. The Knicks are the better team,
They are.
but I think this will be a series where they miss Julius Randle.
Yes, I have to agree. What's your thoughts, real quick, before we get into some other NBA teams? Give me a grade on Nick Nurse.
C plus.
C plus.
C plus.
That's what I'm putting them. And why do you C plus though?
I think he got caught stuck in his ways, stuck with what he was doing and not thinking outside the box. And the reason I love him as a coach, when he was with Toronto, everything was outside the box.
Outside the box.
Whatever you thought was going to happen didn't happen.
Right.
And that's what I was hoping he would do here. And he did some of it, but like, and it wasn't just like, it wasn't a I don't think it's major things, but I think it's, you know, and you said this all along, Buddy should have played more. I'm not even saying he should have played more. I think he should have gotten more opportunities to get it going. So like in game 6, he got it going, but then he could have maybe done the same thing in game 2, 3, 4, 5. Like just give him a shot to see. And now if he comes out and he goes 0 for 2, get him out of the game.
Right.
And I think, you know, there were certain points in the game where our offense just, there was nothing there.
Yes.
There was nothing. And the one possession where Buddy Hield dribbled around outside for like 20 seconds. And luckily went off out of bounds off the Knicks. But like just things like that. I think and I'll to Doc's credit, when Embiid was out, when Doc was here, we still won games.
Still won games.
When Embiid was out with Nick Nurse, we did not win games.
Did not win games.
So, you know, we would have been a different seed, just different things like that. And I think you know, it's going to be interesting. Like, I still think he's a good coach. I think, you know, I think they did a lot of good things. I think they missed a lot of wide open shots from guys who probably won't be here next year. So, you know, if you can fill those holes and fix those things and maybe not rely on Embiid so much for so long throughout the season.
Right.
Maybe he has a little bit more left in the playoffs. I don't know the answer to that, but like, yeah, I mean, C plus.
I give it C plus. You know, he kind of is maybe a shadow above for this season only. He was maybe a shadow above Brett Brown. Just shadow above. I didn't yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, it was really no like the Buddy thing was just like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Without Buddy Hield, they're not even close in that game, bro.
Agreed.
Without Buddy Hield, they're not even close.
But hold on. But then you have to give him credit for putting Buddy Hield in.
Well, I think, yeah, that's true. That's true. See, I knew, listen, I tell you, we got comments. See, them Knicks fans, man, I'm telling you, man, listen, they might be up there with them Eagle fans, man. You know what I'm saying? They come out of the woodworks here, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I'll read his statement on what he's talking about because he's anything with the Knicks, he gonna argue. He's a loyal dude. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, he's the type of friend that you gonna want to have because no matter what, he's gonna be loyal to a fault. You know what I'm saying? He gonna stick by your side. But anyway, I think that he's like a little better than Brett Brown. It wasn't that much of a difference, bro. I was disappointed in Tyrese constantly doing the same thing. Like, I think that's a coaching thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe like getting on him or reminding him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know. We're up in the stands, right? We don't know if they can hear on the floor to the bench or whatever the case may be. But that's a reminder thing. That's why you got all those coaches. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, but Tyrese, don't watch. You know what I'm saying? Head on a swivel. Something. You know what I'm saying? So, and I didn't like I didn't like him being married to Tobias. I don't care about and when it comes to the playoffs, especially when it's critical, your feelings don't matter. The only feeling that matters is either you are doing what you can do to win or you're not. My uncle, and shout out to him, he won something with the Patriots. He's a big-time coach up there in Boston, and he won something with the Patriots, and the Patriots gave him an honor and award or something like that, right? And they interviewed him, and, his main quote, because he's the football coach, he relies on each player to do their job. Just do your job. Don't worry about nobody else's job. Just do your job. When he saw that Tobias was not doing his job, why didn't he put somebody else in to do the job? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of, I fault him at. So I give him a C+. I do think that this series, listen, congratulations to the Knicks. But I think this is a series that Philly just lost. They lost. But it was about what they didn't do, more opposed to all the wonderful things the Knicks did. No, Philly just made mistakes. Mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And you can't win when you make that level of mistakes. It's just that bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So, but, the season's over. Who stays, though, Coach? I want Batum back. I want Oubre back. I want Buddy Hield back. Okay? I think Buddy Hield should come back. I don't want Tobias back unless he's willing to come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure at his age and where he's at, he's not. And I'm on the fence with Kyle Lowry. I'm on the fence with him. I love his toughness. I love the fact that he's from Philly. So, you know what I'm saying, that Philly born bred, playing for your home team. I love that type of story. But you didn't give us nothing either. In fact, I love the fact that I love the way the offense played when Cam Payne was on the court. So, I don't know. Who you want back, Coach?
Tobias is going to get paid somewhere. He's going to get paid. So I don't want Tobias back. Obviously, Joe, I want Kyle back. But like not on a PJ Tucker deal, like not like that. Just like we're going to take this 1 year at a time. Obviously, Maxey, Oubre, definitely. Batum, I would take back. Paul Reed, like, whatever. If he's back, he's back. If he's not, we can find somebody else. Cam Payne, I would be okay with him back. If he's back, though, we still need to find a defensive point guard.
Yes. Drew Holiday would have been wonderful for this team. Would have been everything for this team.
Buddy Hield, I'm okay with Buddy coming back, but I'm okay with Buddy coming back. Yeah, I mean, and other than that, like. And also, what I think hurt us a lot in this series too was not having DeAnthony Melton, like yes. a healthy DeAnthony Melton.
Yes.
So if he comes back, I'm good with that too. So, I think we're not like super far away. I just think we gotta make the right decisions.
We do, and like I said again, let me be clear, man, because I'm telling you that they're killing me in my phone, man. Listen. Shout out to the Knicks. The Knicks did very well. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Brunson, ridiculously, You know what I'm saying? 40 points plus or whatever. I blame, and part of that is why I give Nick Nurse that C plus, because Brunson's tough, 7-game series, you know what I'm saying? You can't, I mean, he almost averaged 40. That can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's a coaching thing too. He's great. He's good. But, the good teams are going to know how to slow him down. Bottom line. They're going to know how to try to contain him. And at something, they're going to do something to him. So, but listen, shout out to them or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is that, this team, they was them losing in the first round hurt. True. I didn't want to talk to nobody for 72 hours. It still stings. Anytime you lose your number one, it stings. It's all good. But this team wasn't going anywhere anyway, because Embiid only had one leg. It wasn't happening. As it went further, it would have got worse. It's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't going to do nothing. So Sixers barely made it to the playoffs. They came in as a 7th seed. Did they deserve to be in the 7th seed? They absolutely did. Because when you lose your big man and he's playing with one leg, you're going to drop in the standings. So yes, Philly was a 7th seed team. And the Knicks beat a 7th seed team because Embiid had one leg. Now, if he did not have one leg, then you could argue that we're not a 7th seed team. But with Embiid playing on one leg, and you barely beat him with him on one leg. So imagine if he had both his legs working properly. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, especially in that game at the Garden when the Knicks won. I'm sorry. The games at the Garden. I mean, he looked like a shell of himself, man. He looked terrible. You know what I'm saying? But neither here or there. Listen, the Sixers season is over. It's over. I'm not sure if we're looking to the draft. I'm looking to free agency. There's rumors about Paul George. Jason's telling me, Paul George. I say, yeah, that's coaches, man. You know what I'm saying? Coach really want him, man. I'm like, I don't see it. You know what I mean? He's no different than, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like Harden. Unless that's the perfect transition. I knew it. The Clippers, first round. I said it. I've been said it. I say it everywhere I go. They will not get out the first round. And sure enough, they didn't get out the first round. Because anytime you got James Harden on your team, Jimmy Harden, whatever you want to call him, you're not going to win. Period. And Paul George, you know what? Paul George is maybe just a shade under Harden for the choke jobs. Pause. Choke jobs. He's a choker.
Paul George, first of all, hold on. Listen, I have nothing, I don't disagree with anything you said except for the Paul George piece. But here's my question for you, though. Paul George, when he went to the Clippers, was supposed to be what?
That dude.
False. He was supposed to be Robin.
True.
Kawhi is supposed to be Batman.
True.
So when you take Batman out of the equation, Robin and the rest of them, it's just like you said the whole thing about the Sixers. The Mavericks beat the Clippers without their best player. Like, you should win.
Well, okay. Now, see, that's a little different then. I get where you're coming from, but it's a little different. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Paul George is a Robin.
Yes.
But he's really a Batman.
No, he's not. That's the problem. He's Andre Iguodala. That's the problem.
Wait, remember when he was in Indiana, what was he? He wasn't no Robin to put Roy Hibbert. He was Batman.
And Andre Iguodala in the Sixers was Batman, but that's not who he is in real life. That's not when he's at his best.
Okay. So you're saying he's at his best at Robin.
He's at his best at whatever's after Robin.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you don't think that having James Harden, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and supporting cast didn't have enough to beat Dallas?
No, they did. I'm not. No. I think they could have won that series for sure. They're talented enough.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, and I think Harden and what you're saying about Harden has a lot to do with why they didn't win. Like that's who he is. I agree with that 100%. What
Right.
I'm saying is, when Paul George is your number 1 or 1A or whatever you want to call him, he's not good.
Right.
But when he's your 3, he's awesome.
He's good.
So I think coming here and being
Robin,
3, right? Because I think you got to let Maxey build, and I think that's when, and then you have. That's when I think it would be great. Now, listen, I don't think he's coming. I don't think he's leaving LA. I think he loves the LA life. I think that's who he is.
And
I don't think he's going. Yeah, he's from LA. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah. They're moving into a new arena next year. All this stuff, so they're not going to let. I don't think they're going to let him go. I've been saying this for years. That's who I want.
But you know what? I will say this: as much as I disagree with, I think he's a choke job. But I will say he is definitely an upgrade over Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to replace Tobias. You cannot go into another season with Tobias, which then brings up a big hole for you to have to fill. Because Tobias, as bad as he was, whatever, during the regular season, I think he was close to 20 points. You know what I'm saying? So you need that. And there's different times he had 30 or whatever the case may be. So you're going to need those occasionally offensive outbursts like that. So you're going to need that. So we'll see. We'll see. But I still think that the Clippers had enough to get it done. And I was definitely, not sad. I was happy to see Jimmy lose. It just, you see it all the time, And one thing I noticed, right, when he first came over to the Sixers, and they played Brooklyn. And I forget, Ben had on this, he looked like, he shout out to the Bruins, they won game 7. He looked like he had like a Boston Bruins type of shirt on or whatever that night or whatever. But anyway, when he first came out to Philly, we went to the game. And that's when Philly got blown by Brooklyn. I don't know if you remember that when he first came back. And I seen Kyrie. I never knew of Kyrie as a defensive player, but I seen Kyrie all up in James Harden that night. And I was like, he's not giving James nothing. And he took that same assignment, and James got off like a game or so or whatever, but he had him on lock, son. Like, he had him locked down. And James don't play no defense either.
Right. Right.
So it's like, so when he's like, he was terrible. And it's amazing. I always look to see if other media people are going to be, pointing out the same things that I'm seeing, because I like to take, some of my opinions and then view them against, what the people, the national people, so to speak, see if we seeing the same things, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, it's like, yep, same old Harden. Same old Harden. This is what you're going to get. In fact, he set a record. I think he set a record or something for the most something less points in a some 10. He set some type of NBA record for choke jobs. I'm saying, for choke jobs, bro. So the thing is. And then maybe that's not I discuss on the angle or something, but bro, like, why would you want him? You know what he's going to give you, but when it matters most, you know what's going to happen. So why would you want him?
You're talking about Harden?
Harden. I mean, the Clippers.
The Clippers have to re-sign him. They have to. Well, they don't have to, but they're going to. And I think it's all based off of them going into this new arena. So now you have to sell tickets. You have to make sure, you can't go into a rebuilding, all that stuff. But here's the thing. If the Clippers don't re-sign him, I don't know who would take him.
Golden State.
No shot. Or LA. No shot.
Or the Lakers. He ain't coming back to the East Coast. I can tell you that much.
I don't think LeBron would deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like one of those. It's funny. He's almost like AI a little bit, and I love AI. I do, but when he left Philly, it was over. I mean, he had a spot in Denver, but once he came back to Philly and left again, it was over. It was over.
I could see him going through like what Melo went through, like where just
Yes,
nobody signs him. Like
right, right, right. I think it's because, like I said, everybody knows he's a choke job. So it's like, yo, you're not going to. You know what I'm saying? You see, he fools you with the occasional outburst game. He fools you like that. But it's all quicksand, bro. You can't build on that.
and it's like if you're a young team, you don't want him because you don't want him to spoil your
Right.
what you have going on. If you're a veteran team, you don't want him because he's going to kill the culture of it. So
Right.
like who takes him?
Yeah, see, I don't know. What's your thoughts? So let me ask Harden. I think Harden, he's a basketball player, so he's gonna get some money. He's gonna sign somewhere. His opportunities are definitely more than Tobias. So he'll sign somewhere. Okay. What's your thoughts about Milwaukee? Because they're out of here too.
See, but they're gonna have the excuse of we were hurt. Everybody was hurt. So
And they were. And see, Chris Middleton is a Robin. That's a natural Robin. You're not comparing Chris Middleton and Paul George. Or are you? Or are you?
But so to say, when Giannis was healthy, when Dame was healthy, Chris Middleton was the third guy.
Yes, that's true. But he has been Robin. He's been a true Robin. Not even a third. He's been a true Robin when they won the championship. He was a true Robin, right? At times, even being a Batman at times.
In the fourth quarter, he's the Batman.
Fourth quarter, right? So, okay, but what do you do with the Bucks? I mean, listen, you fire Budenholzer, okay? It was Budenholzer.
Yep.
Then you got Adrian Griffin. Adrian Griffin was 33-10 or 36-10 or whatever the case, something like that. And then you fired him. Okay, you fired him. Obviously, you fired him because Giannis and the brothers didn't like him, and he probably was coming across a little aggressive. Where they like, wait a minute, hold up, yo, nah, bro, you can't talk like this. You know what I'm saying? We used to being talk like this, whatever the case may be. He's gone. Then you bring in Doc Rivers. You struggle. That Doc Rivers narrative's out there. Boom, boom. You struggle. You don't make it out the first round. I think you have to run it back, though. I do
too. I mean, because everybody was hurt, I think you do. And listen, they have a good team. I think, and I think with Doc with a full year, we'll have them doing some different things, especially defensively. So yeah, I mean, I think they have an excuse with everybody being injured.
Sure.
Even though it's tough. Just like that, you take away your two best players. You're not beating anybody. So
you're not beating nobody. Exactly. Now, is that the same reason? Will you say the same for Miami? Because Boston, after that initial game, what I'm saying, Boston made quick work of them.
Miami's got to do something, and I feel like Miami, the lure of Miami is kind of wearing off. Where Miami just waits to the playoffs to win. I think from what I've heard, people aren't happy with Jimmy. Jimmy's starting to wear on people down there too.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
So, it's, but they just need more talent. They're just not good enough.
Right. That's the bottom line for them. They're just not good enough.
Yeah.
Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Listen, another team that, we got a game 7. I'll be honest, Orlando shocked me. I didn't really think that Orlando was that good. You know what I'm saying? They have shocked me. They have surprisingly shocked me. I'm actually rooting for them. As much as I like Donovan Mitchell in them, I might be rooting for him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I might be rooting for him a little bit. My man Chicken, what's good? What's good? Chicken, Trick Dawson in the building. What's up, bro? But I might be rooting for him, though, for real. I don't know. What's his name? I don't even know his name, man, but he gets busy.
Paolo Banchero?
He's got like a little mellow to him. Did you tell me that? Did you?
Yeah, he's tough. He's super tough.
A little mellow to him, man.
Yeah.
And they still got some other pieces that I don't know. I mean, Cleveland better not play around. I know that much. Donovan is the best player in this game, and he better just play like it. You know what I'm saying? And step on them, because if you don't, you're in trouble. They're going, they're going back to Disney World. I can tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're in trouble. I think not having Jared Allen hurts them big time because Orlando has a big team. Pause. Like they're size wise they're there. So not having Jared Allen's definitely hurting them.
Right.
And like, I mean, Donovan Mitchell goes for 50 and you lose.
And you lose.
That's tough. So yeah, I mean that game today is going to be. It's going to be interesting. I think if Cleveland loses this game, they're going to have to be the ones that say, "Hey, what do we got to do?" Because I think they got to shake some things up.
They do, and I think you might see Donovan want to go.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to go. I don't think they let him go. I think they'll try to get rid of Garland before they get rid of Donovan.
Okay. And then listen, we had some games last night. I was still in my hiatus though. You know what I mean? Wow. Shout out to Coach. I'm gonna say your name, man. Coach John Gilliam. We got so many nicknames for this coach, man. He's a good dude. But he's saying that his Orlando starting five, they all starting five are 6'10".
Well, that's not true. But like they're so they go.
Wow, they 6. Wow.
Yeah, I mean they're not all 6'10", but they go. Their first three are.
Wow.
5, 4, 3 are all 6'10". Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot of length. Pause. Wow. Oh, Pablo is 6'10".
Yeah.
Wow. Who's the starting guard?
Oh well, I guess they have 4 now. That's true. That's 4 because they took him out. So Jonathan Isaac 6'10", Banchero 6'10", Franz Wagner 6'10",
Wow.
Wendell Carter Jr. 6'10", and then Jalen Suggs is like 6'4".
Right. I like Suggs though. I like Suggs too. Yeah, Suggs is tough. Wow. So, and that's a lot of length to, especially for Donovan to try to, maneuver and stuff like that. So that should be interesting. It's going to be a good game. That's going to be a really good game. What about that game last night? You watched that game last night?
I didn't see it. I saw the highlights and I saw the box score and this guy's trying to take things over.
Yo, listen, I don't know who I was having this conversation with. I feel like it might have been you, Coach, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I thought it might even be me, you, and Randy having this conversation or something when we were talking about like, yo, who's the new face of the league?
Yeah.
That was having the conversation, right?
Yeah.
I said Anthony Edwards. I said he has the charisma, he's got the game, and he's got the flashiness. That's the thing. He's got the, I don't care. I'm in your grill. I'm letting you know. I'm putting everybody on notice. We haven't seen that probably since Jordan. And I don't even know if Jordan was even that demonstrative, like, yeah, I'm next. I don't even think he was like that. So I don't even know if we've seen that. Maybe Shaq? Kobe, maybe? I don't know. He's got the personality. We definitely didn't see it with Durant. Okay, that Durant, he's a quiet giant. If that's even, I don't even know if I even, because we got to talk about him too, right? So, but he's next up. And Anthony Edwards is next up. He's just hoping that there's no injury, no nothing. But I feel like every star has to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Jordan had to go through that. He missed the season, or he missed like the majority of the season, and he came back and he dropped 63 at the Garden. You know what I'm saying? At Boston Garden. So he hoped that doesn't happen, but chances are, it's what happens. It's an evolution of players, right? It's the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? It happens. You know what I mean? But he's next up, though, bro. He's next up. He's a problem.
I agree. I just still say the same thing I say. He's got to get away from Gobert and Towns. I just think people aren't gonna like him until that happens because they don't like those two. So
I'll give you that.
But no, I mean his ascension has been unbelievable. I think it's going to be huge for him is this summer for the Olympics. He's playing with some legends and where they put him in that whole mix. I think it's going to be crucial for him on how he is viewed by other people.
That is true. I will say this. I disagree a little bit with the get away from them because I actually think Minnesota got a team that can go to the finals. I think Gobert is probably the weakest piece. But as much as I don't like Karl Anthony Towns, and I think it's superficial. So it's not like I don't know him as a person and nothing like that. He's from Jersey, so you know what I'm saying? But I think it's his face. I think sometimes some people have faces. No, it's just some people have faces that like, you know what, yo, your face just gets on my nerves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But yo, he could play though. He could play. He could play. You know what I'm saying? And he might be the perfect complement to them. And then you got Conley getting it right too. They got a nice team, though.
No, they're good. They're good. They're very well coached. Their bench is tough. Nas Reed and they have the pieces. Like they have when you think of a team, they have those pieces. The Gobert and Towns playing together thing still kind of like clunky at times, but like they're good. I mean, whoever wins this series, I think wins it. Comes out of the West. I think because even OKC, I still think is a year early.
Yeah. I think you're right. I totally agree with that. So, well, you know what? Listen, they took game one. I'm sure that, I tell you, Murray is so tough. Oh my gosh, he is so tough. That's really the true Batman and Robin, Jokic and Murray. They really are Batman and Robin. But, listen, Denver will, they'll rebound and they'll get better. And it's going to be a heck of a series. That OKC series versus Dallas, that's going to be a good series too. That's going to be, you got a bunch of good series. I got the Knicks coming out the East, though. I got the Knicks. I'm back on number one is gone. Listen, I'm on my rebound thing, man. Like, yo, what's the best way? Listen, society says it. Society has conditioned us. What is the best way to get over your number one? You got to get a rebound. So my rebound is the Knicks, man. And the Knicks are coming out the East, bro. The Knicks is coming out the East. I'm back. I got to put my Bernard King jersey on. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks is coming out the East. The Knicks are coming out the East. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be the Knicks versus, it might be the Knicks versus Minnesota or the Knicks versus Dallas.
Wow. Yeah, I don't. The Knicks thing. I don't think anybody can beat the Celtics.
So you still feel that way, even though Porzingis is done for a little bit?
For a little bit, I think they're going to get through the next series. Who do they have? Cleveland or Orlando. I think they get through that without Porzingis. Yeah, I think even without Porzingis, I still think they're super deep. They like
Porzingis takes them to championship level.
Agreed, 100%. But
I'm saying?
Without him, I still think they have the pieces. Like we talk about like Batman, Robin. Like think about like the respect you have for Drew Holiday. I know you do. Like think about where he ranks on that team.
Yes. So yes, you're right. Absolutely. But I also think about the Knicks. The Knicks play D. That's one thing they play D. They play a lot.
So does Boston. That's the thing. Like, so I can put Drew Holiday on Jalen Brunson. And then I can put Derek White on Jalen Brunson.
Right.
And then I can put Brown on Jalen Brunson. Like
that's true.
And that's why I think the Knicks are gonna be fine against Indiana because they don't have the length pause to deal with Brunson. Right? That's why the Sixers had some success because you could put Oubre on him, you could put Batum on him. Right. I think when you put a guard on him of his size,
like Halliburton or something like that,
they can't handle that.
Yeah. You got a point. I still, and again, I'm back to, that's my team. The Knicks is going to be my team. So, Boston, I can't root for Boston.
I got
You know, Porzingis makes them championship level. Without him, Boston is back to what they were last year, which makes them beatable. You know, you replace Brogdon with Holiday. Brogdon was tough in the playoffs, super tough. Holiday, he's been okay. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had to be super tough.
Right.
In fairness to him. But no, I still got them, and I said I got Dallas, or you know, I got Dallas, or I got you know, who's the others? Minnesota. Yes, I got those two. Dallas, you know, with what I see with Kyrie and Luka and those surrounding pieces, and the genius job that Coach Jason Kidd is doing. They just, I don't know. I just feel like Jason Kidd's teams remind me of those New Jersey Nets teams.
Agreed.
Okay. And when the New Jersey Nets teams would play somebody, right? And I'm not sure, because you were a Net fan, right, Coach, from Jersey?
Of course, I live in New Jersey, of course.
Exactly. Okay. So, you know, when you would watch them play, right? They may struggle, they may get down, but they was always going to be right there. And you knew they always had a run in them. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about Dallas. Dallas may get down, but they never out of it. They're going to have a run in them. And I just feel like that with Dallas. And the things that Kyrie is doing, Luka, you know, Kleber, even though he's hurt a little bit now, you know, they got a really good team. They got a really good team, and he knows how to use all those pieces. So we'll see. You know, it's still a fun time of the year with this NBA playoffs. So our team is out, but, you know, I think it's time to start watching basketball again. So I'll turn back on ESPN. I'll listen to First Take and hear Shay Shay and all of them. I'm back on live. I'm turning the switch back on because I've been off. I'm telling you that shit. But anyway, listen, I know we just want to touch on some baseball real quick. How's them Phillies and how they been doing? You been keeping up with them, Coach, a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're you know what's interesting? They are, and I think I talked about this last time. They have for so long, like, kind of eased into the season.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of fans didn't like that and said you can't turn it off and on, but they were able to turn it on when they needed to.
Right.
But I feel like they're taking a different approach, and I don't know if it's strategic or if it's just happening that way or what it is. But yeah, I mean, listen, they're 23-11 right now. I think they have the most wins in baseball.
Yeah, they roll it.
So they're playing well. They, you know, winning series, and that's, you know, when you hear people talk about it, they just say just win the series. You don't got to sweep everybody, just win.
Right, just win. Right.
So, you know, and that's what they've been able to do. Alex Boehm's playing amazing. He's got a little injury now, but you know, like they won yesterday 14-3 against the Giants. You know, so they're just doing the things they're supposed to do. They're winning games, and it's been pretty fun to watch.
And you know what? Listen, there we go again. That boy Ranger. Seemed like every time Ranger pitching, Ranger danger. I don't know. Is he the ace though?
He is not.
He's not. He's tough though. Now, is he Robin or is he more like I don't know.
He's the third guy. And this is what I mean by like the third guy. So like when you're able to pitch a Ranger Suarez against another team's three, you have such an advantage.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so like if Ranger as a 2 or as an ace, now the regular season is different because you're matching up against different kind of people all the time. But when you're like in the playoffs, when you're able to match up, you know, Ranger against other teams' threes, or even a Nola or Wheeler against other teams' twos, you're such an advantage.
Right. So, yeah, shout out to the Phillies. The Phillies, you know, they're definitely rocking and rolling. I saw here, you know, my Yankees, they won with the Tigers 5-3. You know, I did see that Aaron Judge got his first career ejection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. That's what I woke up this morning. First said it was very surprising. You don't really see that from the Yankee way is a certain way. You have to behave yourself a certain way. You have to have your hair cut a certain way. You can't really rock no beard like that. It's a certain way. It's like a gentleman's club. You know what I'm saying? To be a Yankee. So, but him getting ejected, first time in his career. You know what? Maybe you celebrate that one, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes from some of those guys, and Aaron Judge is kind of like that. You just want to see a little bit of fire from him. You want to see a little bit of,
Yeah.
But as I'm reading it here, it looks like what he did shouldn't even been ejected. But
it is what it is, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
This now we got a game 7 today, okay, but it was a game 7 last night.
Yes.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, again, Doc Bryce here with Coach Bullock, the new Let's Get It Sports Show. It's all about growing, right? That's why we call ourselves the new, right? Because we're growing. So one thing I'm going to grow is I'm going to watch some hockey. I have to admit, I haven't been a hockey fan. I just haven't. It's almost like sports and music go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So hockey's like that gangster type rock and roll heavy metal that's like, yo, it's going for like 10 hours. And if you say something crazy, yo, all hell's going to break out, right? Then basketball is almost like jazz, right? So jazz is improvisational. It goes by the movements and the elements of the music, the harmony, the melody, you know what I'm saying, the drum. So, I kind of was more into the jazz. I'm my generation before me, my grandfather, gave birth to my father, whatever. He was a jazz musician. So jazz is who we are. I wasn't into the rock and roll and the heavy metal right now, but I had to get into it. That's the way I stretch and grow. So I'm going to hockey games. And if anybody wants to join me going to some hockey games, please feel free to message me or put in the chat because I will take you and we will go. We'll experience it for ourselves. Let's see how it is. They tell me all you need is a beer and some popcorn and you got a show in front of you. You tell me, Coach, have you been to a hockey game?
I love hockey games.
Okay, okay. Wow. So look at you said it like you got up in your chair. You know what I'm saying? You smile. So it really is like an experience, huh?
You know what it's like? What is it? What was that? It's like bumper cars.
Okay.
So, but you're just waiting for something to happen.
Okay.
Right? You're just waiting for the fireworks. You're waiting for whether it's going to be a big hit, whether it's going to be a goal, whether it's going to be a fight.
It's going to happen.
Something's coming, and you just have to. You're just waiting and anticipating for that moment to happen. Now, I'll say, and I've said this before, I think playoff hockey is the best sport there is.
Really?
Everything is so important. Every decision, everything is so important. And you know how like even in the playoff basketball game, like you'll have some defensive times where guys just give up an open three,
right?
Or Tyrese gives up a backdoor layup. Like that doesn't happen in hockey. So like every single play is so important that and I have to give so going to University of New Hampshire, hockey was huge. I mean, they were when I was up there for like 2 of the 3 years, they were number 1 in the country. 1 year they won a championship. 1 year they lost in the championship. So like it was like, you were focused on it.
Wow.
So, that's how I learned what the rules were, all that stuff.
Right.
And then now, I think I went to one Flyers game this year. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna see what these. Hopefully, these New York Rangers tickets is not as much as these Knicks tickets. But if they are, then we'll be waiting the next year. And shout out to the home crowd. You know, I know I'm drifting, but shout out to the home crowd at the Wells Fargo Center because they did show up, though.
Yeah.
They did show up. New York was still in the building, though. Don't get it twisted. New
It
York
wasn't as much as everybody makes it seem.
It wasn't as much as it was. I did witness something though. And I have to say this. This is all about, ladies and gentlemen, I am 47 years old. I will be 48 in a couple of weeks, actually, right? And being from New York, and being from anywhere, you know what I'm saying? You have to know how to navigate. Okay. You have to know how to navigate. I go to Boston to watch a game. My uncle always teases me. He said, yeah, man, when we came to Boston, man, you come up here wearing that Philly shit and blah, blah, blah. And I told you, no. And they was talking that junk up in the Boston Garden or whatever, right? But it wasn't nothing crazy. But, you know, I've gone on the road to see my Sixers, and I'm low-key a little bit. I'm not going to be all up front like, you know, this is my team because I'm older now. I'm a little sensitive to other people's perspectives. Plus, you know, I know there's going to be drinking. There's going to be, you know, some pre-gaming. So you never know. I wish all fans had that thing. I seen a Knicks fan, you know, he got all his Knicks gear on. And he's kind of like, he's not really talking, but he's got his camera up. He's taking a picture and a video of this Philly guy who's, you know, calling him all kind of expletives and just getting on him. And then he invites him over and tell him, come over here and get closer to the phone. Like, so why couldn't he zoom in? I don't know. But he said, come on over and get closer to the phone. He comes over there and gets closer to the phone. He says exactly what he was saying from a distance in the phone, and then he smacks the phone 25 rows down in the arena. He smacked it. Wow. And said, now go get it. Blank, 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 blank. And what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And dude ain't do nothing because he's dolo. He's by himself. Other dude got his crew. So he made a positive decision, right? Now, of course, when the police came, then he got riled up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you go visit your teams out there, you might want to be low key. You just might want to be low key. But when you're younger, you don't care. You know, New York's in the building, baby. You don't care. You get a little older, because this man was older. You calm it down a little bit. You bring it down a little bit. That's all I'm saying. That's my advice. You know what I'm saying? That's my advice. I don't know. Do you want to speak to that, Coach? I mean, did you see anything crazy? Or?
I saw a couple things. Nothing too wild. But you know, I felt bad. Like, you know how walking out of the arena, they had the guys that were set up, you know, selling stuff.
Right.
And they were selling a bunch of Knicks stuff.
Right.
And some of them were like young kids. So
yes.
I don't know where this stuff comes from or like who's in charge or who runs the show for this thing. But leaving that arena and you have these young kids out there selling this stuff. I saw 3 tables get flipped.
Yes.
Knicks stuff. And you just I just felt bad for, like, you know.
You feel bad.
Like, it shouldn't have happened. I understand why it happens. I get it. But, like, and I wouldn't feel bad if it was like an older person who could, you know, fend for themselves. I wouldn't feel bad. But
sure.
You have kids out there who are 18, 19, 20 years old with trying to deal with mobs of grown adults.
That's tough for them, right?
That's tough. Like, that's tough. You know, I didn't care what they're selling, Knicks stuff, whatever. But like literally, they're flipping tables. Then they flip the table. Now there's stuff all over the floor. Now people are walking by, kicking it, stomping on it.
Right.
Like, you know, and I know that gives Philly a bad name, whatever. But like, I just think it's a bad decision.
It's
like
a bad.
No, you got to know your surroundings. You got to know. I know everybody's trying to make a buck. I get it, but I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
You got to know your surroundings. Know your surroundings. That's the message for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Know your surroundings. So anyway, any final thoughts, though, Coach? I'm gonna get up out of here. Any final thoughts?
No, man. I mean, we're in the off season now, so it's about looking at and you know what I always do is I always watch these games coming up now, the rest of the playoffs, and I'm like, how would the Sixers do against this team? How would we do against that team? And that kind of tells me and leads me to like what we need to do in the offseason. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
Yeah, same thing here. I mean, I don't know where we start. It's still a little wound. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm watching TV. I'm gonna start watching some games. I'm definitely gonna root for the Knicks. But I still don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like I still don't want to talk because it still hurts. You know what I'm saying? And because you just wish you had Embiid healthy. You know what I'm saying? You wish you had Melton a little healthy. Melton's known for his defensiveness. You know what I'm saying? So you wish you had Covington a little healthy. He's known for his defensiveness. You wish you had some other pieces. You wish Buddy Hield had a longer, had got some more opportunity. You wish Paul Reed, I disagree. I think Paul Reed could have made a difference. Yeah, sure. Game 6, he was kind of, he was nervous as I don't know what, but then that's why you pull him out. He still had like 2-3 rebounds in that short little stint. Pull him out and then put him back in. You know what I'm saying? You got to get masterful and crafty a little bit down the playoffs. In the playoffs, I thought Thibodeau outcoached him, and Thibodeau's not known to outcoach people. He's known to be the defensive coordinator, not necessarily anything offensively. But Jaylen Brown has helped him. I mean, not Jaylen Brown. Jalen Brunson has helped him with that. Right. Okay, this Knicks team, even with his Chicago teams, you knew that there was going to be a moment where the offense was going to stall and this and that, and it was going to happen, right? So he's doing a masterful job. He's the new Red Holzman of the city. He's doing a masterful job. Can he get the job done and bring a chip? There's a possibility. I don't think you get it done this year, though. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, but then every other team is going to be better. So now we got more film. Now we play a little more defense on Hart, a little more D on DiVincenzo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's entitled to have their breakout season until we get some more film. Then we start studying tendencies. We start studying different things. What do you think Indiana's been doing? They're studying tendencies. Rick Carlisle is a heck of a coach. How can you go from coaching? He coached Indiana before, okay? Then he coached Detroit. Then he coached a championship team in Dallas. And now he's back with the Pacers running and gunning now? He could coach. He's made some transitions. You know what I'm saying? So, is Carlisle going to be ready for the Brunson Knicks? I'm sure they will be. I still think the Knicks are going to be victorious. So that's my final thought. Let's go Knicks, let's go Mavs or Timberwolves. And, we'll continue the morning until we meet again. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have a powerful day. Let's go over this game 7. Let's go and see, let us know who you want. Let us know in the comments. Let us know when you see this stuff shared. Let us know if you're more Cleveland or you're more Orlando. I think I'm going with Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't like a young team that's overachieving? Who doesn't like that?
Right.
Who can't get behind that? So, please be sure to like us on Facebook. Also like us on Instagram. And we're streaming live most Sundays on YouTube and Facebook. We have more platforms coming soon as well, too. This is the new Let's Get It sports show. Myself, Doc Bryce, as Coach Bullock, live on location. Always here to bring you the latest up-to-date sports commentary, sports conversation. It's been a great show. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.